Favourite film of 2017? This was a tough one. So here are some honourable mentions before I talk about my favourite film. Two of the films didn't come out last year. One of them was Little Miss Sunshine. I watched it for the first time in 2017 and I fell in love with it. I thought it was a fantastic film. It's one of those sort of perfect films where really you can't think of anything kind of wrong with it, and it's just such a sweet, wonderfully well written, incredibly acted, just well made film, and I thoroughly enjoyed watching it. And it's so wonderful. It's so wonderful. It's just a fantastic story about this family, and it's so engaging, and I loved it so much. If you haven't seen Little Miss Sunshine, definitely go out and give it a watch. Another film that didn't come out last year but I thoroughly enjoyed, and I'd seen before but I forgot how good it was, is The Truman Show. Another great film. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Came out 90s? Maybe? Can't remember. But I rewatched it again last year and was again blown away by how good it was. I forgot how good it was, and it's so good. It speaks a lot to society now and what we deem as reality and the kind of digital age. It's really fascinating, and again, if you haven't seen it, definitely recommend it. Other films from 2017 that actually came out in 2017 include, speaking of Little Miss Sunshine, they directed a film that came out in 2017 called Battle of the Sexes, which was based on a true story of the tennis match between Billie Jean King and Bobby Riggs, like the best two tennis players at the time, one female, one male. And it was more of a biopic about Billie Jean King, to be honest, that had kind of just focused around that tennis match. Fantastic. Again, really sweet film, really well made, great performances, fantastic film. And even though I knew the ending, like I knew who won the match, that still didn't mean I wasn't on the edge of my seat during the match. Wonderful, wonderful film. Highly recommend Battle of the Sexes. Baby Driver, I thoroughly enjoyed. Edgar Wright, I think, is a terrific filmmaker, one of the best British filmmakers working today. The whole film, again, so beautifully crafted. He's the kind of director who just pays attention to every single detail, and it really shows. I've watched it 3 times, and it only came out in the summer. The music in it is magnificent, and how he edits to the music. I know a lot of people talk about this when they talk about the film, but it's really something special, and how everything is in time with the music. Gunfires, footsteps, door closing, putting money down, like it's all so nicely timed. There's some really cool long shots, kind of one takes, which I really love. The whole film is totally enjoyable. Story-wise, it's not perfect, and like the main female character is just there to be the love interest for the main character, which isn't fantastic, but just as a visual film to watch, it's wonderful, and it's just great fun, and it was really enjoyable. La La Land, I actually saw at the very start of 2017. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was beautiful to watch, and the songs are lovely. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed La La Land, particularly the scene where it's sort of that sunset sky in LA, so the one with the scene where they danced to A Lovely Night and Ryan Gosling on the pier. It was so just nice to watch, and it just made me feel warm and everything. Let me just mention this while we're here. Dunkirk, being a Nolan fan, I was totally looking forward to Dunkirk, and it was the biggest film disappointment of the year. I really didn't like it. I thought it was, cinematically it looked fantastic. The cinematographer, Hoyt Van, I've forgotten his name, but he's fantastic. But apart from that, I was incredibly underwhelmed by the whole thing. I don't really want to go into why, because I want to focus on good films that I really enjoyed this year, not that one. But for those of you wondering, because obviously a lot of you know I'm a big Nolan fan, Dunkirk was a huge disappointment for me. I didn't actually enjoy it that much at all. This was technically 2018, but I'm going to throw it in here now because I won't be able to talk about it any other time. The Greatest Showman, I absolutely loved. It was such a treat. And I appreciate it is not a perfect film by any stretch of the imagination, and I'm often quite critical about films, kind of being, interested in films and being a film student. It's very difficult for me to turn off my critical film mind, but this just washed over me. It was so lovely. I thoroughly enjoyed it, start to finish. What would usually bother me in other films in regards to story didn't bother me at all. I just sat back and loved every second of it. The music was wonderful, the performances were great. Hugh Jackman is an international treasure, and I loved the set design and the cinematography and the style of the whole film and the tone. I loved it all. It was such a wonderful, wonderful film. It was wonderful. It really was. I'd highly recommend. Obviously all these films, but The Greatest Showman as well. That's a 2018 film, but I'm going to include it in here because why not? I do what I want. Logan Lucky, another one, little quick thing. I saw it on a plane. I giggled in my seat on the plane often. It was just a fun, odd little film to watch. Good performances from Daniel Craig in particular and Adam Driver. Just an enjoyable, silly, fun film, and it was a fun watch. Anyway, moving on to my favourite film of the year. Favourite film of the year of 2017 was Get Out. I thought Get Out was truly, truly fantastic. I'm a huge fan of satire, as I think I've mentioned on this channel many, many times, and so having this horror satire film, it was just fantastic. I think it's so well made. You can tell a lot of time and a lot of thought and a lot of energy has gone into this film, and it really paid off. I thought great performances by everyone, really well made, really, really well written. It's kind of that, it's a horror film, but it doesn't rely much on jump scares or anything. I kind of put it in the same idea of it's The Shining, that kind of creepy, unsettling fear. That's where it works. Even if you're not big on horror, I definitely still recommend watching it because it's not too gory or jump scary or monsters or anything. It's just a very well made film, great premise, brilliant satire, incredible performances, and I think it deserved the Oscar for Best Original Screenplay. Jordan Peele did a great job as his directing debut, and I thought it was a fantastic film, and it was my favourite film of the year. So, what were some of your favourite films of 2017? Feel free to include any you've seen this year as well. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next video, which will still be this shirt if you're watching these in order. I'm just gonna record another. Thanks!